Lovely people. Good evening, good evening. This is 70 Severance once again, coming back at you guys with another video. This video has been somewhat long awaited. I'm not going to say long awaited. I'll say more like a month awaited or 2 month awaited, 2 months awaited. Um, Now I'm gonna do a disclaimer. Okay, do a disclaimer. If I come on YouTube and claim it is something that I have seen or I have discovered for the first time, please understand that my spiritual awakening my spiritual awakening was this date. This date right here. Okay? Spiritual awakening date was here. Here. Now, the first time I ever knew anything about MBTI, took an MBTI test, anything about anything MBTI related was this date. Okay? Very first exposure to MBTI on this date. I didn't know what an NI was. I didn't know what an FI was. I didn't know what a TI was. I didn't know what a nothing was. I didn't know what any of it was. I was oblivious to me, to the NI, to MBTI. I was oblivious to all of it. I was oblivious to myself mainly. Um, that's before 2022 or November 2022. Between November 2022 and March 2023, I noticed a change definitely. And this is just a side note between here and here. For my first awakening, I will say that if anybody cares, I will say that, see, like I said, people that are awakened, truly, they can explain this stuff. Okay? People that are really awakened, they can explain this stuff. Not like some people that claim to be INFJs. I've been listening to their channels ever since these dates. Well, this one. Check out I don't know if you guys can check out some of my subscribers. It's 8 out of 10 INFJ subscribers. Well, no, because I deleted quite a few of them. But basically, yeah, I don't follow them anymore because, from my estimation, they're frauds. They're INFJ frauds. They're INFJ frauds. And if anybody has followed my channel, one comes to mind. This guy, Professor T.I. Professor T.I. himself. Professor T.I. himself. Those of you that follow my channel, you know what his name is because I've said it before. But not to get away from the point that I want to make. It will be quick because this video should be quick. I know I always say that, so yeah. um, but yeah, I will say, like I said, my FI or no, I'm sorry. I was talking about, excuse me, I was talking about between this date and this date. I can definitely tell you that between those two dates, this was the first function I felt awaken. This one. Excuse me. How did I know that? Areas of my life that I weren't so SI in, I started being SI. But I started being SI like this, naturally. I didn't read self help books. I didn't read 1,000 self help books and brainwash myself into anything. All of my functions awakened naturally. Like I said, between this date and this date, this started strengthening. I was not very consistent, but I started noticing there's a 2 mile trail or a park that I started going to. And I started noticing that the more I went, the more consistent I was going or wanted to go and wanted to go to where I felt like crap for not going. And and that and of course that's a natural thing, but for me having my SI there, it's monumental. It's monumental for us. So this is like a breakthrough. Not many people know this, but I will tell you now. Only 10% through 20% of people on the planet even discover or realize they even have a seventh and eighth function. They go through life not even realizing they have these. I mean, can you imagine that? You're going through life with 6 functions. Yikes. Talk about cluelessness. Talk about in the box thinking. Talk about walking around like this. Yeah, you're walking around like that at that point, like times 10. But I can tell you what's the opposite of this right here. The opposite of that. And I'm veering off and I caught myself. So I'm going to get back on track. Yes, this is vision in a nutshell. This is vastness in a nutshell. There's a reason I don't hear any of this stuff on any other channel. You know why? Because a lot of people cannot quantify what NI truly is. They can't. And then a lot of these people have channels that are very successful. And they don't know what the hell they're talking about when it comes to this function. They don't know what they're talking about. They know what they've read from somewhere. And guess what? Most of them are INFJs and they have the function. And they can't quantify it. That's the biggest travesty of all. But moving on. Back to the point that I was making. I made my point about NI being vision being vast. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of these, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, this. Because I'm at 10 minutes, I promise I should be before um, um, I shouldn't be close to 30 minutes. I shouldn't be. But I'm gonna write this again. I'm gonna move it over, and I'm gonna write it in a different way. But I've kind of made my point about that, I think. So, um, but I've said my disclaimer. I've said all that. Now I'm gonna get a drink of water. Okay. Don't think I need a disclaimer. And I can't even remember if I said the disclaimer or not, to be honest. um, but yeah, we're moving along. Um, but yes, um, basically, okay, now I remember now. Basically, if I'm saying something, claiming it to be the first of this knowledge, it is because I've gone from March 28th, 2023, and I've never heard any of the stuff that I'm about to say from anyone on any channel, eco hackers, anywhere, anywhere, anywhere. So, but I just discovered this probably about a week and a half ago on my own, of my just constantly studying the MBTI. And like I said, if I said I discovered it, that means since 328, all these scholars that appear to be on YouTube with their NI knowledge, MBTI knowledge, I've never heard it from them. I've never heard it. I've never heard it. If I'm saying claiming it is the first time, it's because this is the first I've heard it since. So yeah. Anyway, um, basically, I have discovered a system that is called. Well, I'm just kind of calling it this. Basically, a person's main, well, number one through four, and that's primary, modes of processing information, pretty much. And I am aware that people on YouTube, they hijack videos from people like me and they post them on their accounts. But just check the dates, people. Just check the dates for legitimacy. You heard it here first. Always. You heard it here first. Always. Processing, I would say information, I guess. Eh, I'm just going to say processing. Primary modes of yes, first through fourth modes of processing. I said primary, but yeah, you get the point. I'll just call it this then, modes of processing. There's four of them. And I will start with me, of course. I am the INFJ. INFJ, right? INFJ. Now, let's write out the stacks. Let's write out the stack. All right, we got NI, and I'm going to try to go a little quick because I want this video to be quicker. FE, TI, SE. I'm going to put my shadow in red over here. My shadow in red over here. My enema, my muse. Well, actually, I'm her muse, actually. That's how that goes. That's how that goes. All right. So, primary modes of processing information. In my discovery, excuse me, in my discovery, we all have four. There's two in our primary. I mean, there's two in our first four. There's two in our second four. So, what are the INFJs? The primary mode is, you may have guessed it, NITI. And this is how it works. Just like this. That's how that works. And the same for your shadow. When you are in your shadow, it works the same way. Look at that. Works the same way in your shadow. Now, this same dynamic is across every function and personality, or personality type, I should say. INFJ, ESTP, INFP, doesn't matter. It's the same thing. So, this is the INFJ's primary mode of processing. Okay? What we do is we take in information from the external world with our SE. We take it all in with our SE from the external world. Take it all in. Take it all in. And then from here, well, I don't want to put that color. And basically from there, it goes into basically look at this. Look at these as like a washing machine or a dryer, or you could say a funnel, kind of like the vortex you create in a bowl when you're stirring something inside the bowl. Picture this like that, or these like that. And as SE takes in information, it gets thrown into this vortex spinning thing. But I don't know if it goes that fast. It's kind of more like this, like a slow simmer or something like that. You know, that's what I would say. It- with this NITI with us, this is like a slow simmer. So, and this gets put in the oven, and this just simmers in the background. Why? Because look at this I, introvert. So this primary mode of processing is our signature move. Whatever your primary mode of processing is, to me, that is that function's signature move. Yes. And I'm still going long. Crap. I'm at 19. Signature move. Yes. And this is going to be first function and third. This is basically your Batman processing mode, which you rely on the most, what you do all the time. And as we can go over here, it's the same thing with the ENFP shadow. We got NE and we got TE doing the same thing. And as you can see, NE is extroverted, TE is extroverted. So NI is more inner focused, TI is inner focused, whereas NE is extroverted, extroverted intuition, extroverted thinking. And I can tell you in this case with the ENFP, I could tell you with them, they see future possibilities. And with the extroverted thinking, it all goes in to the extroverted thinking. And they try to make sense of their NE with the TE. So like I said, main mode of processing is it's extroverted, which means basically what we do internally with our NI and TI, they're extroverted or they go out and explore. They go out and they get ideas about the extroverted intuition, the possibilities, the limitless exploration, things of that nature that they see. So this is what they do. And then now we're moving on to the second mode. So what color am I going to choose for that? I think I'll go blue. To your second mode of processing for the INFJ, which is FE and SE. FE and SE, and it does the same thing. Goes that way and goes that way. Now, and I'll do the same thing here. Do the same thing here. And I'll go the opposite way. Actually, kind of doesn't really matter, but you guys get the idea. So we got FE and SE here. And how this dynamic works is basically we got our FE here, or let me explain it this way. Basically, what we get from our NI and TI gets put right in FE, gets put into FE. And then from FE, as you can see this arrow, FE wants to go out into the external world and share it, right? FE wants to share it, but it wants to use this to share it, or share it with the performance, go sharing it and things of that nature. So, but the thing is, I need to put this another color. That fourth function, I didn't put that fourth function another color. And I'll go with purple because this is the issue function here. This is the issue function here. So, yeah. So the issue comes with INFJs is when we have our NITI, we have all of our conclusions, our downloads, and things like that. Then we also take in the external, the feeling, the reactions from people, things like that. We take those reactions in from people. Actually, I'm saying that backwards. So, well, if you go from the bottom up, in that dynamic, you can go, well, I'm taking in all the SE and then the reactions from people and stuff like that, and people's reactions. Then these get thrown in to NITI. You could say that. Okay. But then there's also another dynamic to where you want to put it in your FE, you put this NITI information in your FE filter to filter it out to get all the, stuff that people aren't going to understand and stuff like that, to try to condense it down into the perfect FE plate of a beautiful entree that you can serve with your SE, right? So, but like I said, sometimes this process of putting the FE polished product on the SE plate, sometimes we run into issues here. It shows up as performance anxiety, stage fright, things like that. So these are areas that we have to be mindful of and pay attention to and try to improve. I try our best to improve. I'm an INFJ myself. I know what time it is. So, but it's a constant struggle, but you have to you have to persevere and you have to keep trying your best when it comes to this. If you lift weights, get into a martial art, a sport, it helps. It helps. Something active, like like a physical activity, it helps. It definitely helps. So, I mean, but yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say to you guys. Just this. These are the, but I was thinking more of on the processing aspect, like as far as thinking. Like, like I said, the green is the INFJ's primary mode of processing information. So this is what we do. Like we're more prone to take in an NITI. As we're getting information in real time, it's getting thrown into NITI. As we're taking in information, it's getting thrown in. So we're just sitting here doing this. NITI, we're just doing that. So until somebody taps us on the shoulder and says, hey, wake up. Wake up. That's a V, but who cares? Wake up. That's supposed to be under it. But yeah. Um Primary mode of processing information, secondary, but kind of more like two and a half because everybody's fourth function is kind of an issue. So, and like I said, it's the same thing for the ENFP shadow. But I can do another one. I'll do another one. I'll do one more quick one. I kind of don't have time. I do not have time. So I'm probably going to stop it here. But I hope you guys got that. Like I said, primary mode of processing, secondary mode of processing. That's the second. And this is the fourth. And like I said, it's the same for the shadow. And if you guys want me to go deeper into all of them, I was going to anyway. But it would be nice if you guys have any options or which ones you want to see first. I can do those. If not, I'm just going to pick an order and just go in that order. So, again, thank you guys. Check the videos out. My main goal is to get this information out. I want to change lives. I want to drop the divorce rate to 0. Like I said, stuff like that is my main focus.